In the warm-up today, you were asked to construct a scatter plot for this set of data. In other words, you're plotting all of these points onto that coordinate grid. Your scatter plot should look like this. Remember, they may not always fall on clean points. You would have to approximate. For example, 15, 19. 15 is a nice clean point, but I would have to approximate that to 19, so it's touching the line of 20, not exactly on the line of 20. You are not connecting your points. They don't make a pretty picture. It is simply a collection of points on that data display, on that grid. Today, we're going to look at the scatter plots a little bit more closely. In some cases, you're going to have points like we saw in our warm-up scattered about, and those don't really represent a relationship. But in some cases, you're going to notice that there is a downward trend. This would be a negative relationship. We could actually draw a line in there if we wanted to. We're going to talk about a trend, and we're going to band that trend. You can see that this has a negative relationship. This, if I put a band around it, has a positive relationship. And like I said, the last one has no relationship. Take a moment right now, look at letters A, B, and C, and determine if it is a positive relationship, a negative relationship, or no relationship. You should have recognized that the trend goes uphill, so that would be a positive relationship. I would recommend drawing the band around each. I couldn't draw a band on this. This would have no relationship, and this one, you could actually do that negative relationship. We're going to continue to look at scatter plots in terms of two different variables. This is what we call a bivariate data set. In this case, we're talking about the weight in pounds, and we're talking about the fuel efficiency of 2009 Chevy cars. Fuel efficiency is the kind of gas mileage that you can get. Do you notice a pattern in the scatter plot? Pattern could be something like a trend. When I see that word pattern, I look, can I draw a band around my data? What does this imply about the relationship between the weight and the fuel efficiency? What do you notice? Is there a relationship between the weight and the fuel efficiency? You could say that, yes, there is a relationship. As the weight of the car increases, the fuel efficiency goes down, the fuel efficiency decreases. Is that a fair implication? The bigger the car, the less gas mileage? Yes. This allows us to make somewhat of a prediction, but be careful. Just because we have a relationship doesn't mean that it's going to be that way every time. I can make a prediction, but it's not a cause and effect relationship. So just because the car weighs a little bit more doesn't guarantee that it's going to have less gas mileage. I could say that that's the trend, but there may be exceptions to that rule. We want to take this scatter plot, this concept of scatter plot, and we want to be able to talk about the relationship. So we're going to talk about the statistical relationship a little bit today. And in this case, we're looking at reading ability compared to shoe size. Does there appear to be a statistical relationship between the shoe size and the reading ability, or the reading score? And we could put a trend line. We could go and band our data set. And we could say that, yes, there's a trend. I'm noticing a trend happening here. And what do we notice? And I've given you a little prompt to kind of help you. As the shoe size, so this is the variable on the horizontal axis, that's our independent variable. This would be our dependent. So as the shoe size increases, because it's going up in number, the reading score also goes up, so that one increases. So as the shoe size increases, the reading score increases. Is that always the case? The bigger your foot, the better your score? If we look around the room, we have all different types of score. If my daughter came in here today, she's got a size 12 shoe right now, in 5th grade. Does that mean she has, because she has a bigger foot than, men's size 12, by the way, because she has a bigger foot than most of you, that she probably has a higher reading ability than most of you? Remember, this is not a cause and effect relationship. So what reasons might this pattern occur? Think about that a minute. One of the biggest reasons comes to my mind is as you get older, your shoe size increases. As you get older, you have more schooling, more reading practice. Again, remember, it's not a cause and effect relationship. Do you see a relationship in this set of data? Hopefully you've recognized that this is somewhat random. So I don't see a relationship here. I'm going to put no relationship. But some people say that, wow, we're talking about athletic shoes, the higher the price, the better the quality of shoe. Is that always the case? How would you respond to that? That's a trend that I see, but is that a trend in your data? That trend could be because you're paying for the name. Nikes, for example, cost more than Champion that you'd find as a brand at Walmart or Starter. Yet I also know that there are some name brand shoes, because of their name brand, do have higher quality than some that you might find elsewhere. Again, remember, not a cause and effect relationship. So as you work through your independent practice today, I'm going to ask that you determine whether this is a positive, negative, or no relationship, like we did to start our lesson. I'm going to ask that you make scatter plots similar to what you did after the assessment on Friday. So if you did not finish that particular assignment, you have that to do as well. Remember, in your data table, this is actually two parts of the table. One, this is X and this is Y. This is X and this is Y, and then you go and plot your points. I do want you to tell me what type of relationship this is. So as you graph it, go back to that template that we talked about here. You're going to do the same for B and C. Sorry, for B. And then when you get to the last two, you're actually going to have to construct the scatter plot and then answer some questions based on that particular scatter plot, as well as give that relationship. And the same thing here. Construct your scatter plot, give the relationship. The remaining time is yours. I should not hear the talking, the chattering. This is an individual assignment. Please get started.